All right, Panther fans. So, how is everybody doing on this fine, raining, windy? We got a massive storm going on outside. So, if you guys if you hear the thunder, we had lightning hitting right outside the house this afternoon. So, free agency went just about as planned. Once we knew the big three that obviously had been signed with Benedict, Blad, and Marchand, we kind of figured there wasn't a whole lot for Florida to do, but we did tidy up a couple of things. So Jeff Petrie is the guy that looks like he's going to compete um, with Balinskis at 670. Probably rotate those two guys in and out. Petrie's 37. Some people feel like he can basically be a Nate Schmidt replacement. But with Balinskis, there's no reason for him to play every game. So pretty much we feel pretty good there. Um, we did end up getting Nosek re-signed as well. Most of you probably all already know all these things. Now, the guys that left, Sturm, Vanacek. Sturm went to Minnesota. Vanacek and Schmidt went to Utah. So that, oh, wow. Did you see that? You see what I'm talking about? If we lose power, it is what it is. So, okay, so here's the main thing. We also got goalie Brandon Bussy, I'm not sure. He was in the Boston's. Oh boy, here we go again. He was in Boston's system. He's not played in the NHL yet. He's an AHL guy, 6'4". He has some pretty decent numbers, so that's definitely a younger goalie that we're looking at developing. Um, Boy, oh boy, oh boy. It's going to be a miracle if we finish this video. It's kind of distracting. So let me get to the point that I'm trying to make. Talked about this a little bit yesterday, and now that the full day has gone by without the Panthers moving anybody out of the room for cap relief, once Sam Miskevich signs his qualifying offer, I do believe we're going to be just bare bones, a little eensy weensy bit over $3 million over the cap. Now, talked about this. I've joked about this for 2 months on the noon stream, but it may actually be looking like what could possibly happen. If Kachuk needs the surgery, he's going to start the season on LTIR. If that's going to be the case, there's absolutely no reason to move Rodriguez or Boquist right now. We do not have to do anything for as long as Kachuk is on LTIR. Like I said in yesterday's video, if you offer Erod the chance to maybe stick around and see what happens when Kachuk comes back from LTIR, if nobody else is on LTIR other than Kachuk, Rodriguez would likely have to go, possibly Boquist, depending on how things go with Sam Miskevich. But if we end up with another play on LTIR, it's possible we could get out of all of this without having to move anybody. So we'll see how that works out. Now, the fact that they didn't move Rodriguez today, you kind of would have thought that if Rodriguez was immediately available, that there would have been deals made for him because there would definitely be a market for him. He's a really good, versatile forward. He's got 2 years left on his deal. He's only getting paid $3 million. So I'm sure that there will be teams lining up to take that asset off of our hands because it's not even like you're dropping it because it's a bad contract. So the fact that he did not get moved, every day that Rodriguez doesn't get moved, to me is one day closer to them announcing that Kachuk is going to be on LTIR to start the season and he's going to have surgery. Now, I know some people feel like, well, he won't miss the Olympics. You're probably right there, but I wouldn't guarantee anything. I know that he's going to want to play in the Olympics so sorely badly. That doesn't make any sense. You get what I'm saying. But if he has surgery now, January, February return, that's when the Olympics are, is in February. Could it be where he just comes back and plays a couple of games and then goes to the Olympics? Don't know. But the bottom line is that we don't have to do anything right now. And I don't really think Zito's going to do anything unless we have to. You never know what's going to happen in training camp as well. All it takes is one guy to get injured, and we have room for both Boquist and Rodriguez. So I think unless somebody blows our socks off with an offer for Rodriguez, I could be wrong. I just don't think they're going to move him unless they have to. Now, in terms of the roster for Florida, the way it is now, that's the bigger question. Now, when Kachuk is out, Rodriguez would be in. Samoskevich is likely to sign his offer unless he wants to go to arbitration. Now, the fact that they gave him a qualifying offer means that it's going to be a 1-year deal that will just be a percentage higher than his previous contract. So the feeling there, my feeling there anyway, is that Samoskevich will sign the qualifying offer, take the 1-year deal, and then next year, when we have cap space opening up, because the assumption is, well, either Bob's contract is going to get lowered, come off the books, and the cap is going to be raised. So we're not going to have any problems paying Samoskevich next year. Might work out for him too, because if he takes the 1-year deal, if he plays a full season on that second line with Bennett and Kachuk and plays well, plays through the playoffs, maybe we even win the next cup again, Samoskevich could get himself a nice deal. So I don't really anticipate there being a big problem there for him taking that contract, but you just never know. Defensively, the top 5 is settled, and then Balinskis, Petrie is 6-7, in and out, doesn't matter. Now, one thing I know a few people were hoping is to see Mike Benning get a shot there at 6 or 7D. Now, Petrie's contract's not a two-way thing. He's too old for that, so he's not going to be movable back and forth. Is that somebody who we could waive that somebody else would pick up? Maybe, depending on what the circumstances are of the other team's injuries or whatnot. But I think he's going to be there to stay. Past that, the done. I mean, past the Rodriguez and Boquist possibly being moved, we've got our team. We bring back basically the entire exact forward group from last year, right? Nobody from the forward group, with the exception of Sturm, is gone. And Sturm wasn't playing, obviously, at the end there. Nosek was. Nosek signed a 1-year deal at the league minimum. So, again, that's just a matter of guys wanting to stay. In terms of AHL guys that might get a chance, like I said, Benning probably going to get an opportunity. If we don't make any moves, if we don't move Rodriguez or Boquist would still be the extra forward when Rodriguez is filling in for Kachuk. Now, when Kachuk comes back, if you're not moving Rodriguez, if nobody else is hurt, you would then have likely Rodriguez and Boquist as the extras. But remember, Nosek didn't play the full season, but we counted on him at the end of the playoffs. If you keep Rodriguez, if you're able to do that, you may see a situation where maybe, Nosek takes a night off here or there and you put Rodriguez in at 4C to keep him fresh and in the lineup. There's a lot of different ways that this could go if the Panthers put Chucky on LTIR and if we're able to keep him for the full length of the year. That's a big if. It's a big gamble. Like I keep saying, I could post this video and Rodriguez could already have been moved. But the longer that he's not moved, it just makes me think that at some point we're going to know, right? At some point Chucky's going to know about the surgery or not. And then if he's having surgery, it's a no-brainer. You probably keep Rodriguez at the very least until the trade deadline, and we'll see what happens from there. Now, do I feel like the defense is completely done in terms of the trade deadline next year? If the 5 guys are healthy, I don't think you're going to be making any moves. Obviously, Forsling, Ekblad, Jones, Mikula, and Kulikov, that's your 5. Balinskis, Petrie, could you end up needing a guy to come in and improve over that? It's possible. Definitely possible, but if he turns out to be what Schmidt was, we could be good to go. Other than that, the goaltending situation. Now we also signed a 2-way contract for the Russian goalie that we have. I can't pronounce his name. I'm not even going to try. It starts with a G. So we've got Russian goalie after Russian goalie after Russian goalie. Is Brandon Bussi Russian? I can't imagine. How many Russians are named Brandon? Let's see. Does it say? No, birthplace His birthplace was South Beach, New York. So Brandon is definitely not Russian. So they're not all Russians. Other than that, we're set. We're absolutely set. Now, of course, if Kachuk's not going on LTIR, you're going to have to move Rodriguez, possibly Boquist, and then fill those spots with cheaper players. You'd probably have to move Rodriguez and Boquist and then go get two minor league guys, maybe a veteran. Now that we don't have Sordif, there's nobody at the AHL level that I believe is completely ready to come up and fill a spot there. You could have had Sordif if Kachuk's out and you don't have Rodriguez. You could have had, Sordif come up and fill a spot there for a short period of time. But if Kachuk stays, then you're likely to lose Rodriguez and or both of Rodriguez and Boquist. And then you might just be looking at an AHL guy that comes up, or you could be looking at any number of minimum wage guys to come up and just be that extra 13th forward, which again, losing Rodriguez and Boquist, let's not pretend. That would be a ding to the depth, which is why I just don't believe Zito's going to do it until his hands are absolutely tied behind his back, and he has to. Because look at the reverse, the flip side. If you move those guys now, and then Kachuk comes back from LTIR and somebody else is on LTIR, and we're in a position where we would have never have had to move them, then how do we look? You follow what I'm saying? So that's it. Short and sweet. This was such an uneventful free agency. All the way around the league, a lot of guys re-signed. A lot of guys re-signed with their teams. Nate Schmidt got paid 3 by 3.5. You love to see it. I didn't see what the Vanacek deal was, but he also went to Utah. And then Sturm went to Minnesota. And there's no big shocking trades, no big splashes. The Boston Bruins filled their roster with middle six guys. Tampa really didn't do a whole heck of a lot. Toronto just kind of standing pat right now. No big move to fix the Marner part. Panthers ruined free agency. That's probably what I should title the video. All right, now I got to go make the Dolphins video and talk about how lousy that team is. Oy vey. I'll see you tomorrow at noon.